What's good, Liberators? Fingers here, and this is another riveting edition of Dx2 Demon Review. And today, we're going to be talking about Undead Alice, because some of you had the gall to point out that in my last few PvP videos featuring the new Beelzebubs, that Undead Alice kinda stole the show. And to that I say, just because Undead Alice is great doesn't make Hyper Beelzebub and Human Beelzebub any less great. So today we're going to talk about this blonde girl who's stolen all of our hearts. A ghost who appears as a small blonde girl. Contrary to how she looks, her magical powers are formidable. Some say she is the ghost of an English girl who suffered a gruesome death. Others claim she was born from the twisted desires of a disturbed writer's mind. Alas, not even she can recall the truth. She fights the Liberators in a game of life and death within an underground maze. So let's get into what makes this girl so deadly. Now, as you can see, she has a great magic stat, but I find it to be largely useless because her double punch comes in her cursing everyone and then killing them instantly, which doesn't require her to have any magic whatsoever. And other than that, she's doing fractional damage, which again does not require any magic, which is why I opted to dump the majority of the Mitamas into Vitality and into Luck, and I wouldn't have even put 10 into Magic if Strength or Agility helped her in any meaningful way, because you want this girl to be rolling slow. She is built to roll slow. You want her going second, so she has enough MP to fire off her special skill right away. And if she goes first, it's a bit more difficult to pull that out, given how low her agility is. And getting that first turn with her may have been appealing at first. It was something I was trying to consider. You run her on a speedster team, you get her to go first, someone else curses everyone, and then she just wipes you clean before you have a chance to do literally everything. But that low agility stat is really going to hinder your speedster team in getting that first turn. So you really want her to be going second for that big sweeping counterattack. Let's check out the skills. For the transferable, Insanity plus 20% to inflict status ailments, which is great considering her unique skill, which curses everyone. The first passive, Give Me Jewels, activates the following chain effect at the start of an enemy turn. Inflicts 10% fractional damage, 300 max, on all enemies based on their current HP, and drains 1 MP, which is the real all-star there. That draining 1 MP. Now, this triggers at the start of the enemy's turn. So if you run her first, she's on a speedster team, she does not get that crucial MP drain that she would need for you to make her on a speedster team viable and give her enough MP to blast away on that first turn. But what this does is make her exceptional when you're running a slower team, a stall team, an intimidating stance team, because stealing 1 MP from a team that's already hindered in MP because they're going first in PvP is huge, especially if you run her on offense, where a lot of people design their teams to have just enough MP to have a good opening wave, and this just completely ruins that. Even if they have divine brands setting it all up, it just makes all the magic users have to use their physical attacks, which either whiff or just completely hit for nothing. Then it is fantastic, as you may have seen in those PvP videos I recently released. I will link them both down below so you can see that in action. And for her other unique skill, do me a favor. Now this is some old game breaking bullshit right here, this skill, because you can have all kinds of fun with this thing. Activates Be My Friend when there is a cursed enemy. Activates Play With Me when there isn't. Play With Me inflicts 30% fractional damage, a maximum of 1,500, on all enemies based on their current HP, with an 80% chance to inflict curse. So current HP fractional damage means this attack's going to get weaker and weaker and weaker the lower their HP gets, and can never kill the enemy if they're not cursed. It will only do that based on their current HP, so eventually it will go down to 0 and you'll be stuck unless you can find another way to do damage and finish off those enemies. Be My Friend inflicts 30% fractional damage, 1,500 max, on all cursed enemies based on their maximum HP, with a 100% chance to inflict mortal, nullifies all death prevention skills. So if you are able to inflict that curse, that fractional damage can take out your enemies. So you curse Ji Wangmu, and she's got null mortal on her. Okay, well, you can't just drop her, but you can hit her 3 times and pretty much wipe her out at that point, because the fractional damage will be based on her maximum HP and not her current HP, but only if you can get that curse stuck on her. So demons who null ailments, who have null curse, this will not work, and you're going to have to find another way to take them out. But other than that, other than those exceptions, you can literally use this once, curse everybody on screen, then her second turn rolls around, provided you have enough MP, you can double tap them. And we'll talk about, and well, you can also, which is what I did early on when I first got her, was I had a stall team set up. The enemy would go first, and then I would have Ashura revive people, wipe balance clean, have someone curse the enemy, and then Alice would just drop them like that. And if there was anyone left standing because of null mortal or null curse, we would just slowly pick them away because they would be isolated and wouldn't be much of a problem. But I run her slightly different these days because of her panels, and we'll get into those. If you level this up, plus 40% chance to inflict status ailment when using this skill, and the crucial MP cost -1. This thing costs 9 MP innately to fire off, so this is required. You need that -1 MP reduction to make this work really well. And 40% chance to inflict status ailments, in addition to the insanity, which gives her an extra 20%, is fantastic. For the archetype skill, I've got her psychic null mortal, which is amazing. This is the only archetype you really ever see her in, because null mortal is just fantastic skill all around for PvP. It neutralizes Undead Alice's versus Undead Alice's and forces you to do that fractional damage against her instead of just being able to easily wipe her out wholesale. And for her transferables, I've got her with the Enduring Soul, trying to keep her up as long as possible, the Curse and Kill everyone in sight, and Epitome of Endurance, which I was calling Epitome of Fortitude in my last couple of videos, I think. It is Epitome of Endurance that has -25% to own effect on battle speed, plus 20% to max HP, which is fantastic for her. More HP slows her down, which helps you get that second turn that you really want when you're running her. Fantastic stuff there. As for brands, I'm running her with Divines and Evasion brands because her panels give her extra evasion, which is always nice if you're running a slow team to have one of them be a little slippery against physical attacks. And Divine brands because of her second panel, which gives her additional MP. Now, if you do not have that second panel, don't give her Divine brands, because she will have enough MP to be somewhat functional. If you have someone else cursing for her, you make that work. But unless you have that additional 5 MP from that second panel, the Divine Brands, you'll just wind up capping her at 10 MP, and you'll be wasting a lot of, where you would be able to go get like an additional 13 MP and then use that to have her just in one turn double tap and wipe out everyone. You won't be able to do that. You'll be limited by that MP cap, and you'll be hitting it often because you're draining MP from the enemy. And you got this additional 1 MP per her turn. It caps off, and you wind up wasting a lot of potential there. So probably go with life brands until you get that second panel, and you can make this work. Or if you're just running her with another demon who's cursing for her, go with life brands, because you don't need the extra MP to have her do the cursing and the killing all in that one turn. Panels. First panel, 15% to physical evasion rate, which is great. You can make her pretty slippery if you stack on those evasion brands with her, and that can cause a lot of problems for the enemy if they try and cheat. A miss in PvP is a death sentence, costing you 2 full press turns. Oof, that hurts. So great to have. And the biggest and the best one, in my opinion, panel 2. Go for this one off rip if you are able to. +5 to maximum MP. This opens up a whole new world for her. It allows you to give her those Divine Brands. And if she has those Divine Brands on, even if there's an enemy Undead Alice on the opposing team draining 1 MP from you when it's your turn, she will still start off with 12 MP, which means she can, assuming you have her Do Me a Favor skill fully leveled, she can curse everyone, you can pass, and then kill everyone. You can even have a demon do Silent Prayer or Barrier Break, and then pass to her, and she can get her double tap off with those 4 press turns that you have on your second turn. And that's how I've been using her. It allows you to put another highly defensive, supportive demon in place of a demon that's doing some cursing for you. So it opens up a lot. Or instead of having that cursing demon, you can put a demon with intimidating stance in there to help get you through that painful first wave of attacks, as was shown in those Beelzebub Undead Alice PvP videos, which again, I'll link down below so you can see just how effective that is, and you can appreciate it as much as I do. And before we wrap it all up, as usual, let's check out the other archetype skills, though again, when Null Mortal is involved, there's very little reason to do so, but we're going to do it anyway, just for the sake of posterity. For Origami, we have Hell Gaze, dark magic damage on a single enemy with the power of 180, which, I can see this. I can really see this because sometimes you got enemies you can't curse. You got enemies you can't curse, that means Undead Alice can't kill them. And so giving her some form of single target magic attack where you can start out, you can wipe away most of the demons, but then you get that one left who just won't die because they can't be cursed. Okay, well now at least Alice can shotgun them down. So I get it. Viable option, though if that's how you're thinking, you are probably better off still going with Psychic, give her Null Mortal, and then you use one of your transferable slots to give her a single target brutalizing attack. My 2 cents. For the Protector archetype, Sea of Chaos inflicts almighty magic damage on all enemies and reduces enemy defense by 20%. Okay, cool. Again, this, the only reason you would use this is, you got some demons you can't curse. So now you gotta resort to good old-fashioned magic attack. This costs 8 MP to fire off, which is that's a lot of MP. And the 20% damage reduction. Hey, Rakunda's great, but if you're running a team with Undead Alice on it, you're wiping away most of your opponents just whole cloth. You're just murdering everyone, and there's only one, maybe two people left on the field, and those can be easily contained. So you don't really need that 20% damage defense reduction on them to finish them off. You're probably better off with a big single target attack, focus firing, the one that can hit you hard, so you can put him down, and then you got nothing to worry about. You can whittle away the other one without them hurting you too badly. So again, not really feeling it, especially with that 8 MP cost attached to it. Though if you level it up, you can reduce it to 7 MP, which still that hurts. And the Psychic archetype, Null Mortal, which we discussed, fantastic skill for PvP, pretty much a requirement if your demon has access to it. Highly recommended. And the most trash of all, to no one's surprise, the Elementalist archetype with Repel Light. And even though it nullifies her weakness, I still say bleh. Okay? You can put an Enduring Soul on her. And if someone wants to cheap shot her with a big light attack that exposes the weakness and hits her for a lot of damage, well, she's still alive, because as far as I know, I don't believe there are any light attacks that nullify death prevention. Hellel Floros, maybe? I don't even know, and I'm not even going to look. If I'm wrong on that, y'all let me know in the comment section down below. But still, I hate Elementalist archetypes. That's just me. And I'm sure any of you who've seen any of my other videos know that about me by now. So there it is. This little blonde minx just crushing hopes and dreams and causing many people to quit the game in frustration because of how ruthlessly effective she can be. And that's all I've got for you today, Liberators. And remember, Liberators, the federal government is illegitimate, so you don't have to pay taxes anymore. Just remember, don't get captured.